Both me and Vivian left India about more than a decade back. We both had thought that we will return to our country after some time. But then the experience we got outside of India in the different countries that we were in made us believe that we would have a better life outside of India. In the very first podcast of the Global Desis channel, we actually had the discussion over the circumstances in which we decided to leave Indian citizenship. Lately, a lot more people are actually leaving India and making other countries their own home. So here are a few clips from our very first podcast in which we discussed what was the reason we left Indian citizenship and opted for a citizenship of a different country. Hope you liked the video, and I would love for you to tell us what you think about it.
I've had about 8 years of work experience in Bangalore. One of the things that really shook me here working in India was when my organization bid for a very large road development project in India. And one of the criteria for the team leaders was to have 15 years of international experience, of which 5 years should have been in certain named countries. Now, that was shocking for a young engineer aspiring to be a team leader one day, to not be able to be a team leader in the country that I've done most of my education in, done most of my working in so far. So I think that was one of the reasons which prompted me to look for opportunities abroad.
"16 years back, when I joined the workforce, these IT companies were your gateway to an international experience. For the longest time, because of the pop culture that I had been consuming, shows like Friends, Big Bang Theory, all the Marvel stuff and the Archie's comics, there was this whole aura of visiting US, which greatly drove me to, I want to get into an IT company, I want to go and pursue my career goals in an international location, preferably US. Back in 2008, almost every IT guy who was my peer or my senior, their end goal was to reach US or an international location. One of the biggest reasons was the pay scale difference within India and internationally is so huge. You're almost earning 10 times what you're earning in India, and you're also living an experience which not many Indians would be able to have. So I moved to US in around 2013. Once I started living there, it was so different, so comfortable, and what you're earning was valued so much more. And people were actually valued so much more. So much so that when my visa was about to get over, I was trying to figure out how to stay in US or find out some other country that I can move to, one of the developed countries. I'm no longer an Indian citizen because we don't get the dual citizenship thing.
If you had been given an option of holding on to your Indian citizenship and holding dual nationalities like some other countries allow, what would you have chosen?
Yeah, I wouldn't see a reason why I would let go of the Indian citizenship if there are no other hoops and jumps to actually go through. So if it's a very complicated process in which I have to retain two citizenships, then probably I would have to think about it. But if it is as simple as just getting the Australian citizenship and holding two passports, why would I leave Indian citizenship? I mean, there's no reason to.
No, that's exactly the reason that I had to sort of give it up. I mean, I'm still an overseas citizen of India. So India has that provision where you can get a card which says you're an overseas citizen of India. You have most of the rights of the people who live in India, except that you cannot contest elections or you cannot vote, or probably not have a government position as well, I think. But having said that, that was a point where we had to make a decision that was of huge emotional strife, shall we say, in the Vivian household here. Because as much as we wanted the freedom to have a strong passport in order to travel, etc., we didn't really want to give up our Indian nationality because that is my identity, that's who I am. But there wasn't an option to retain both. And that's a question which keeps coming up quite often when I'm speaking to peers back home or to students back home as well, as to why would you not retain your nationality while taking up another nationality? Unfortunately, the answer to that is the Indian government doesn't have a provision where you can hold on to dual nationalities.
Leaving Indian citizenship was not really an emotional roller coaster or something for me. My citizenship of India was by chance because I was born to an Indian family. Me choosing Australian citizenship is a choice that I made. I chose to be Australian because I saw the opportunities that Australia had. So it could have got to do with the experience that I have had in India, where people don't value the people who work there. Their whole thing would be, if one guy goes, there are hundreds who are standing in line to replace him. The other thing that I really noticed is here when I pay taxes, I can see that money being utilized for the people and the community around. For example, I have relatives who are paying 30, 40, 50 lakhs in the actual tax, because I guess in India it's about 35% or 40%, whatever it is.
Yeah, the higher end, isn't it?
But the roads outside their house are unkept. What the government can at least do is utilize that money properly, so that not just my relative, but everybody around in that community, irrespective of how much they earn or pay taxes, have a better life. But that money doesn't go where it's supposed to. And the people who are running businesses, they have loopholes that they can go through to save on that tax money. People like me or my relatives who are working for someone, they end up paying so much money and they don't see the results. Whereas here, I have never paid for any kind of medical expense here. The public education is awesome. Like, you can have good public education for free in this country. Whereas in India, not even the politicians who are governing everything are actually sending their kids to public schools and public colleges. So these are the reasons that we decided to leave India and live in UK and Australia. What do you think about it? Are you someone who's planning to settle outside India, or are you someone who's already been living outside of India for a while? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here for the full video. Until next time, goodbye from the Global Desis.